The universe instance is loading. Welcome to the life of a breeding cat. The bars of the iron cage gleamed coldly in the moonlight. I licked my rough fur, recalling the excruciating pain of my first labor. Several of my kind were piled around me. Some were sleeping, others mechanically licking their paws. We hadn't seen real grass in a long time. My name is Pudding. Or at least, that's what the first girl called me. But now, they just call me Braider A07. 1. The first thing I remember is warmth. The touch of a soft towel, carrying the scent of sunshine. A pair of gentle hands cradled me, and the little girl's voice rang in my ears. "Dad, look! Doesn't she look just like caramel pudding?" Back then, the world was made of milky scents and safe embraces. I had my own plush little nest, an exquisite food bowl, and a small ball that jingled. The first thing the girl did when she came home from school every day was scoop me into her arms and rub her cheek against my head. "Pudding, my little Pudding," she would always murmur. I thought life would always be like this, being loved, being needed, spreading out like a cat pancake in the afternoon sun. That was until 3 weeks after my first birthday. Strangers came to the house that day, carrying a hard iron cage. The girl hugged me and cried, her tears wetting the fur on my forehead. "I'm sorry, Pudding. Dad says we can't keep you anymore, ... double quotes." She sobbed. I didn't understand why. I only felt that the cage emitted a scent that made me uneasy. I struggled, but a pair of hands forcefully shoved me inside. As the cage door shut, the last thing I saw was the girl's tear-streaked face. 2. The truck bumped along for 2 hours, stopping at a place permeated with a strange odor. The cage was carried into a room where dozens of identical iron cages were stacked layer upon layer up to the ceiling. Each cage held a cat, most with hollow eyes. "New ragdoll, good quality. She can produce several litters," a man said in a gruff voice. My cage was shoved into an empty slot on the 3rd tier. In the cage to the left was an emaciated Persian cat. To the right, a Maine Coon with a swollen abdomen. The way they looked at me was like looking at a new prisoner destined to join their ranks. "First time here?" The Persian cat's voice was raspy. I nodded calma, fear making my whiskers tremble slightly. "You'll get used to it soon." She turned it around, revealing several scabbed wounds on her back. "Don't resist. Resistance only brings more pain." On the first day, I huddled in the corner of the cage, refusing to eat or drink. On the second day, hunger conquered fear, and I licked a strange-tasting mush in the food bowl clean. On the 7th day, I was taken out of the cage and met him for the first time. He was a massive blue cat with fierce eyes. I was pinned to the ground, unable to move. When the sharp pain came, I screamed shrilly, scratching the hand holding me down. A heavy blow landed on my head, and my vision went black. "If you're not obedient, you starve for 3 days." The man roared, the sound buzzing in my ears. 3. The pregnancy was long and painful. My belly grew larger day by day, making movement increasingly difficult. The cage seemed to shrink, making even turning around a struggle. The food remained that same mush, occasionally with some smelly minced meat, which they said was to supplement nutrition. My first labor was on a sultry summer night. There was no bedding in the cage, only the cold iron mesh. Contractions came one after another, tighter and tighter. I thought of that warm home from before, and the incubator the girl had prepared for me, lined with soft old sweaters. Push! Stop dawdling! The woman monitoring me impatiently banged a stick against the cage. As the first kitten slid out of my body, I was nearly exhausted. Instinct drove me to bite the umbilical cord and lick away the amniotic sac. 1,2.5 in total. I gathered them under me, warming these wriggling little lives with my body heat. But merely 5 minutes later, a pair of hands reached into the cage and roughly snatched the kittens away one by one. No! I let out a shriek I had never made before, clawing at those hands. The stick fell again, this time striking my spine. Behave yourself! These cubs are to be sold for money. The kittens were taken away in another small cage. I lay on the cold iron mesh. The lingering pain in my abdomen hadn't faded. But beneath me, it was already empty. The Persian cat next door sighed. You'll get used to it. They won't let you raise your young. We are all baby-making machines. That night, I understood the weight of the word despair for the first time. 4. The recovery period was only a short 4 weeks. After that, I was taken to mate again, came pregnant again, gave birth again, and had my children taken away again. Round and round it went. My body began to show various ailments, loose teeth, hair loss, and my once shiny blue-gray fur became withered and dull. After a difficult labor, I developed an infection and a high fever that wouldn't break. But the treatment was just a shot of some unknown drug, after which I was put back in the cage. If she's still not better after this litter, dispose of her. I heard the man say, dispose of her. I knew what that meant. A golden-shaded cat in the cage next door had disappeared the day after her 5th difficult labor. They said she had been disposed of. Fear became my new companion. The fear during every mating. The fear during every birth. The fear watching my children being taken away. And the fear of waiting to be disposed of. Yet I survived. The high fever miraculously broke, and I could eat again. So the cycle continued. Yet I survived. The high fever miraculously broke, and I could eat again. So the cycle continued, until after the 5th birth, my body finally collapsed. Continuous bleeding, unable to stand. I didn't even have the strength to lift my head to drink water. This time, they didn't give me a shot. A07 is a goner. Prepare to clear it out, the man said to his assistant. I was stuffed into a black plastic bag and carried out of that hellish room like trash. Fresh air rushed into my lungs, and I greedily breathed it in. It was the first time in half a year I had breathed air from outside a cage. I thought this was the end, thought so be it. It's finally over. 5. But fate played a joke. Shortly after the plastic bag was thrown into a dumpster, a hand pulled it back out. This cat is still alive, a young woman's voice said. I squinted, seeing a blurry face through the gap in the plastic bag. She took me to a warm place, cleaned the blood and filth off me, and gave me water and food. I was too weak, not even having the strength to lap up water. What happened to you, you poor little thing? She stroked my head, her movements gentle, like that girl from so long ago. I stayed at her place, thought she was a veterinary student who specialized in rescuing injured animals. She named me Lucky, because surviving a breeder's dumpster truly took immense luck. Recovery was long and painful. I had lost my fertility. Half my teeth were gone, and chronic kidney disease and arthritis would accompany me for the rest of my life. But every morning, I could walk in the sunlight. Every night, I could sleep soundly on a soft mat. She never forced me to do anything, just offered gentle companionship. 3 years later, on a peaceful autumn afternoon, I closed my eyes forever on her lap. In the last moment, what I felt was the warmth of her fingers lightly stroking my ears, and a soft "Good night, Lucky." Epilogue. I opened my eyes, returning to the afternoon of April 27th, 2026. The computer screen was still on, and the sunlight outside the window was perfect. What I had just experienced was so real. The coldness of the iron cage, the agony of birth, the emptiness of losing my children, this despair inside the garbage bag, and the warmth of being healed in those final 3 years. This wasn't a novel setting, nor a game instance. It was a life journey I had just experienced through the latest full sensory immersion technology. I had lived the short and painful life of a breeding cat from her perspective. The technician helped me remove the helmet. How was the experience? This is our newly developed life empathy system, designed to enhance understanding of different lives by completely substituting oneself into the perspective of another. I couldn't answer immediately. My face was wet, unsure if it was sweat or tears. My throat was tight. Those memories still vividly burning my nerves. Leaving the lab, I saw a poster at the reception desk featuring a cute kitten. Purebred British short-hair kittens, discounted prices, health guaranteed. Below it was a string of contact information. I thought of those kittens taken away one by one with unknown destinations. In the experience, thought of Pudding's hollow eyes, and thought of Lucky's scarred body in those final 3 years, which, although warm, were already damaged. My fingers trembling, I opened my phone and typed into the search engine. How to identify reputable catteries versus backyard breeders. Adopt, don't shop. And the importance of pet sterilization. On the subway ride back, the girl sitting next to me had a selfie of her hugging a ragdoll cat as her phone wallpaper. The cat had bright eyes and glossy fur, snuggling in its owner's arms, looking well cared for. I suddenly recalled the final feeling at the end of the experience. That cat named Lucky, and the peace and contentment in her final moment. It wasn't because the suffering had ended, but because at the end of the darkness, someone had finally given her the dignity and tenderness she should have received. Walking out of the subway station, the spring breeze brushed against my face. I took a deep breath, realizing for the first time so clearly, every life instance, whether belonging to a human or a cat, deserves a chance to experience sunlight, warmth, and kindness. And we, perhaps, can be the ones to give that chance. This article is based on the reality of existing breeding farms, with some details literally processed. If you are considering getting a pet, please adopt instead of buying. If you must buy, please choose a truly responsible breeder. If you already have a beloved pet, please spay or neuter them in time. Every choice shapes a copy of a life.